And I'd like to welcome next to the stage Eddie Raines.
Good afternoon. My name is Eddie Raines. I'm 51 years of age, but I feel like I've lived about 7 different lives already. These lives have varied wildly between the extremes of happiness and suffering. Nevertheless, I want nothing more to set out on yet another life, one more at least. I've always said that our blessings and curses are often bound together. Some blessings may have never occurred had it not been for what we think of as curses, challenges, illnesses, hardships, and sometimes just bad luck. I rely heavily on a few notions and insights that have taken root throughout my years, and the acceptance of the effects, results, and possible upside of my diagnoses of depression, PTSD, ADHD, and substance abuse has been central to moving forward. I do feel fortunate in the blessings I have today. I'm a saxophonist. I've traveled all over America and elsewhere, and have had peak experiences I wouldn't trade for anything. I have compassion and a sense of humor, and I've known an unusually large number of people, and I feel loved and respected. Most days I have an inner peace that may seem to some to be out of place with my situation, my condition. I was at the time of my high school graduation afraid, shut down, sad, socially awkward, and unprepared for life in a long list of ways. Then came the magic summer of '87. I began to drink, do drugs, and experience a level of wonder and appreciation for the beauty of the world that I'd always strongly believed was there, but that I had been separated from. Freedom, my dreams, and my potential were always on the other side of a wall. That summer, however, I saw Pink Floyd in concert, speaking of the wall, and I had several unbelievable experiences, and I realized that I could play the sax, not just well, but rather well, and the relief from the gray, heavy reality I'd been trapped in was heaven. Of course, any substance you take all the time will make you weak in the areas those substances seem to help with. It's occurred to me that alcohol in particular was allowing me to feel what I'd been conditioned since childhood to think I shouldn't be feeling. The good feelings of acceptance, freedom, and elation I didn't deserve, and the grieving for a lost childhood, and the pain and sadness that seemed to come from an inexhaustible wellspring wasn't allowed either. With me, as with others, the substances were temporarily easing suffering that they were slowly making more intense and hard to cope with. Through various eras or lives in different parts of the country, I did slowly catch up emotionally and socially through the practice of meeting a lot of new people. I've had powerful chapters of sobriety, and I've higher levels of fellowship with people than I would have ever thought possible as a kid. But there was something amiss, always a nagging feeling that I wasn't dealing with life head-on in a responsible way. But of course, change is the only constant. As I got older, my inner struggles outpaced both my healthy and unhealthy coping skills. Enter the age of rehabs and psych meds. While I can't imagine ever winning any awards for normality, I found myself doing some odd things about 6 or 7 years ago, and I thought, wow, these are things that people do who are mentally ill. It seemed undeniable that, as a good friend of mine would say, my cheese was sliding off my cracker. I have learned to laugh about my challenges, for as a favorite author, Christmas Humphreys, once wrote, laughter is an expression of mental health. Humor is a powerful weapon against depression, and it's better than buying into the stigma. In recent years, I've seen many doctors and spent time in a few hospitals and dual diagnosis rehabs. It was, for me and others I've met, a long and sometimes discouraging process, having to try different medications to find out which one was right for me. I had to be circumspect and honest about side effects versus benefits and what level of functionality I could hope for. The idea that things might never be ideal and that my most cherished hopes and dreams might never become realities was painful. These problems are ongoing, and it would be easy to despair. And I feel distress on behalf of others I meet who have obstacles like mine, or even more challenging. However, much rests on what we really want and why. The decisions to be a good person, to do good things, and to be a part of the good that's as inherent in human experience as suffering seems to be, were crucial for me to firmly make in order to enjoy any sense of well-being. Of course, decisions without actions are futile. Action is quite a powerful elixir. Feeling frozen and paralyzed and unable to act is maddening and something I've grappled with for decades. Entropy will do its worst if it's not defied, no matter who we are or what problems we have. Whether working a program or maintaining some modicum of happiness despite one's diagnosis, effort must be applied regularly. I've often said it's like building a sandcastle too close to the sea. The waves will continue to come in, and without good planning and constant care, even the most beautiful and artistic sand sculpture will turn into a pile of mush. As 18th century writer Tsunetomo Yamamoto put it, negligence is an extreme thing. One might also compare this kind of ongoing battle to being in a boxing ring. We either do some dancing and get some swings in, or we go down. I've won some rounds and I've lost some rounds, but so far I've always gotten back up. Going down swinging might sound good, but I'd rather not go down, period. I feel too that as another tool in this struggle, learning is invaluable. Education has been an inexhaustible resource in the area of recovery and mental health. Reading and learning makes one's world bigger. It increases one's sense of wonder, of appreciation, and of the numinous. The more we see of the big picture, the less likely we are to buy into any little pictures, including those that we create ourselves that might hinder our progress. To synopsize my take on coping with my illness, my recovery tool belt includes the following. 1, I turn feelings into sound with my saxophone and try to make people smile with it. 2, I strive to make healthy decisions based on what's good for myself and others. 3, I reach out to others and try to be a plus. It's an overpopulated world. Loneliness can't be necessary. 4, I educate myself autodidactically, but I intend to continue my college education. 5, I try to deal with my depression and addiction as severely as it's dealt with me. I do these things because of the most important belief that I have, namely, it is good that we are all here, and I'd like to stay. Going up swinging is the only way.